Did you get arrested in the downtown mass arrests and detention?
I did not.
You
I
didn't?
heard it was it was quite an event
It's like
down there.
Alabama during the racial riots, I think, you know.
Kind of like versions of events differ, apparently. This is the
they do. They
little
do.
kerfuffle. The mayor apparently made some comments about the police herding the participants out with sirens. I don't know, was it bullwhips and shotguns, or maybe just the sirens?
It was
different reports.
Flashing lights, horn honking, and sirens.
Now, on behalf of the police, you got to assume, I've never been to gallery night. I mean, nothing against it, because I know a lot of people who like it. But you got to assume that some of the people have had an adult beverage or two.
That wasn't the issue. That's nice of you to bring that up.
But it may be.
Nothing to do with the issue at all. Absolutely
no. What is the issue?
They were supposed to be open till midnight with the street blocked off.
Oh, right, okay.
There was a miscommunication between the Downtown Improvement Board and the powers that be. So at 9 o'clock, when we have our city filled with people early in the evening, just finishing dinner, they're getting bullhorns and honking.
Well, why would you clean out the streets at 9 o'clock? I mean,
they had to, quote, open the streets for traffic.
Between 9 o'clock and midnight?
Nobody has any idea.
That doesn't make any sense. I didn't understand that.
That's exactly what the issue was. Do you see, they blocked the streets off till midnight.
Why not let them stay there between 9 o'clock and midnight? They'll give those bars and restaurants down there loads of business, let them walk around and not causing any...
Well, there's two sides to it. And one side is that you have to pay for an insurance policy because people are drinking and they're out in the streets. Right. And the policy is about $2,200, okay? Well, in the past, the Downtown Improvement Board has financed that and paid that policy among their meager funds that weren't spent for all the staff.
Right.
That's one thing they did.
So there's a little money left after they pay the staff. We weren't sure there was any.
Well, not much. But in any event, apparently that wasn't paid. And so at 9 o'clock, they had to end the downtown event.
Because the insurance policy expired at 9 o'clock.
It was the manner in which it was handled by the police department, which is the core of the problem.
Right.
Right now, my question to you was, were you one of the several thousand people that were arrested? And I think you said no, you weren't.
I was not. I'm sure several thousand people were not arrested at gallery night. That may have been
a slight exaggeration. No, slight exaggeration. No, here's what happened. When apparently it was packed, you know, as gallery night. It's wonderful for downtown. Apparently then at exactly 9 o'clock, like somebody's going to turn into a pumpkin or something, they started making these announcements that clear the streets. It'll clear the streets immediately. You know, like that. And I think some people were a little offended by that because they were being pushed onto the sidewalk, which there was no room.
Right.
They were, because they'd been out in the street, So the question is, and I guess...
And then the mayor apparently made a comment, or was reported to have made a comment, about the tactics.
The mayor was there with his wife and his child and other city officials, And so the response by the police department was he didn't act like he normally acts. You know, there's a little rub here. You know, you know what the rub is,
I know
right?
what the rub is.
The rub is that there's a big fight going on about the pension.
Right.
And there are some people, we don't know if it's true, it's not fair to suggest it till we know more about it. Some people suggest that this really was an effort to embarrass the mayor at the expense of all of the people who came downtown.
Well,
and so I think that was successful. Because
that's not totally inconsistent with the way they behave. You go all the way back to the origin of the problem. The origin of the problem is the city cannot afford public sector pensions, period. We spent a lot of time on it. Dave Penzone, who knows a lot about it, came out here. All the ad valorem taxes the city collects adds up to something like $12 million, and just for pensions, we're not talking about salaries or gas for the cars or anything, just pensions is more than that. And it's unsustainable, and it's got to change. In the city, it has the goal of getting out of the defined benefit pension plans, which is where, you know, if so much service, you're going to get so much money no matter what, and the city has to come up with it.
Well, there's a major fight brewing. I think we'll know a lot more about it in the next couple of weeks, so we don't want to jump the gun about it. There's a major fight brewing by some people within the police department that are making demands that the city cannot afford, period. And how they're going to address that remains to be seen. But if, in fact, it is borne out to be true that this effort was an organized effort to try to embarrass the mayor or embarrass city officials, if that's true, I'm just saying.
That's a big if. I mean, it may just be.
I agree.
You know, somebody wants to do something and then somebody loses their temper.
Are there big ifs and little ifs? I just wanted to know.
I think this would be a big one, yes.
Okay.
There are little ifs.
So, as I was saying, if this is borne out to be true, a big if, then whoever is involved should be either fired or suspended in the police department, period. I mean, you ought to get to the bottom of it. And the chief.
Who's going to do this investigation?
The chief should do the suspension of it. I think the investigation is going to follow from people coming forward who were witnesses to everything that happened. And I think it's going to be uncontested what actually happened. But if it is proved, I say regardless of what happened, if it's established that this was organized to cause embarrassment, then I think then the line has been crossed. And your point is that's a big if. I agree it's a big if. My only point was if that's what happened, then the chief needs to fire these people.